Hey guys, welcome back. We are in AP Micro Unit 3, reviewing for that AP test. It's just a couple weeks away. Unit 3 is going to be a little bit different for the videos because I need a lot of graphs and I don't want to waste your time by erasing and doing everything. So I'm going to make 3 or 4 different videos here. So the first one today is going to be really quick, really simple. We're looking at the production function, okay? So remember, the law of diminishing marginal returns is going to occur because of fixed resources. That means, remember, the law of diminishing marginal returns is the more workers that we hire, eventually we're going to get a lot more production out of them, and then a little bit more production, and eventually we're going to start falling off because the workers are beginning in each other's way, right? So if we have a fixed amount of room and we hire 100 workers and the room only holds 20, they're not going to be able to get anything done, and so they're going to actually perform less by hiring more workers. That's kind of the thought behind diminishing marginal returns, that we have these fixed resources, we have fixed land or capital or whatever our resources are, okay? So when we're thinking about this, then what we want to do is we want to look at this graph right here, okay? So what we want to do is we want to think about what is our total product versus our marginal product, okay? So our product is going to be based on how many workers we have, okay? And that the workers are going to be our inputs here, okay? So the more workers that we have, how much output are we getting here? That's what we're looking at, okay? So when we're at 0 workers, you can see we don't have a lot of input. We don't have a lot when we have 0 workers, we don't have a lot of output because there's nobody to make anything, right? Okay, but then what we see right away is when we hire 1, it shoots up. When we hire 2, it really shoots up here, right? We see this spike upwards, and that's because we're going to be able to specialize our workers, okay? You do the cooking, I'll do the customer service. We can specialize. We're not running around the restaurant. We can maximize our efforts, okay? And so we see this initial shot up, and we see the same thing here at the bottom with our marginal product. Remember, marginal is additional workers. If we add 1 additional worker, what's that worker going to do for us, okay? So then what we're going to look at is we have a kind of a second stage. This is increasing here. Then we have this second stage where things really kind of calm down, and we're still going up here, right? We're still rising here, and we can see we're falling here, right? So they're kind of going in different directions. What's happening is each additional worker is yielding us less. They're still giving us more. They're still giving us more product, right? But less and less product, less and less more. Not sure if that's don't tell the English wing about that, but that's what we're going to go with, okay? And so that's going to happen, and we're going to kind of level off, and finally, when we reach our peak here, that's when we're going to get 0 additional, and then eventually less and less and less from each worker that we hire, and that's when we cross this down here, okay? So that's what we're looking at for the production function, that we're going to initially spike, then we're going to level off, and then we're going to drop. And what that's going to do is that's going to cause this. Now notice here, when this is 0, this is at its peak, right? Okay? When this is at its peak, that's when it starts leveling off, okay? And so those are going to be kind of the 3 stages here. So here we are in diminishing marginal returns all the way through here, and here we're in negative returns, okay? So increasing marginal returns, decreasing marginal returns, negative returns. And so that's the production function. So from there we go into our short run costs, which is always the first kind of big step for a lot of my students here. And so first off, we want to remember we've got several different things here. We've got our output, we've got our variable costs, we've got our fixed costs, we've got our total costs, we've got our marginal costs here, right? And we can, depending on what they give us, we can bounce around and we can fill out everything on here, okay? So remember, our fixed costs are what don't change. Our variable costs are what do change. Our total cost is our fixed cost plus our variable cost. So if we look here, we know if we have 0 output, we're gonna have 0 variable costs, right? So that means all of the things that can change, that was Mr. Wood, say hi everybody. So that means all the things that can change would be, go ahead and, we're not going to pay for those, okay? We're not going to pay for additional workers. And so we're going to have a 0 here, okay? Our fixed costs then are the things that we have to pay for regardless. We have no choice. Our rent, our electricity, things along those lines, our insurance maybe. And so we know our total cost is 15. We know our variable cost is 0. Therefore, we know our fixed costs are 15. Now, here's the big thing about that. With our fixed costs, remember, they're going to be the same regardless. So 15, 15, 15, all the way through, okay? So that's nice. Once we have that, we can do the whole column. So now I have a total cost here, and I have a fixed cost here. I can subtract to get that. 26 minus 15 is going to give me 9. How about 11? Okay. Then I've got, going this way, I've got 17, I've got 15, I can get to 32. And then I got 37, I've got 15, I can get to 52. Okay, so now we go on to our marginal cost column. Our marginal cost column, remember, is going to be the difference in our total cost. What is it going to cost us for that one additional worker? Well, if we go over here, we know at 0 workers, we have nothing to compare it to. So we've just got a dash there. 26 minus 15 is going to be 11. 32 minus 26 is going to be 6. 52 minus 32 is going to be 20. Now, what do we notice? What do we notice? We are going to notice here that our marginal cost is initially going to go down because this is initially going up. So our costs are going down because each worker is giving us a lot more. And then we see it turn around and start going back up. And that's because of our diminishing marginal returns, okay? So these two things are interconnected here, okay? And so that's a good way to check, are we doing marginal cost correctly? Do we see that check mark starting to form where we're going up, we're starting high, going low, going back up, okay? 11 to 6 to 20, we've got that kind of that U, that check mark. And that's what we want to cover for today. So 7 minutes, really quick video. Next time we're going to look at the graphs and how do we graph these things, as well as we're going to add in average variable cost, average fixed cost, average total cost. We'll see you then. Remember, be good to somebody else today. We'll see you then. Bye.